Hello guys and welcome to AOR Assist League 1 on the PS4. I am Ross and we have Tam with me. Sorry, I don't know first
How
name.
are we doing, everyone? So, apologies, I've
There we go.
accidentally anyway, we seem to be all good. We are now for the American circuit with 20 turns there. Got a grid of 13 drivers, not the biggest grid. We're able to put on the best show possible for us. So, got our first couple of cars on the grid. Let's get it underway. The American Grand Prix. Time for the qualifying session.
Right, I'm not entirely clued up on the championship situations, but I do know that this man, who is coming out of the pits now in the Toro Rosso, Arinurog, if I can say it right, he is definitely one of them. Yeah, it's difficult. Arinurog, I'm gonna say that. I don't know where the Rog came from, but
yeah.
He is definitely one. I don't know the other. I have a feeling it might be Larkin, but I'm not sure.
It is indeed Larkin. So Larkin actually has had an incredible run of form recently. He's on 6 straight podium results and has now has managed to build himself up a 44-point lead in the driver standings. Harry currently sits second on 188 points to Larkin's 232. So he is going to have a lot of work to do, certainly. 2 points behind him is the Haas driver Energetic, so it wasn't particularly in a championship fight, but racked off 2 straight race wins in Italy and Singapore to move himself into the championship fight with Larkin, but over the last 2 races he has slipped back a little bit. So we've now got a couple of cars moving through on their laps. We'll see the tyre choices from some of these guys, because it can be quite varied at this track. You'll find maybe a few drivers will try the ultra soft tyres, but doing that, you're really running yourself at a risk of having to potentially do a 2-stop. Super soft tyre might be the choice for these guys. But what do you think, Ross?
Yeah, I agree. The ultra softs around here, they're clearly the quickest, but they do wear quite quickly around Circuit of Americas. So it actually surprised me. Everyone is on either super softs or softs, except from pronunciation failure incoming. Again, can I just say Harry? Is that good enough?
Yeah,
Harry.
It's okay. When me and Adam were commentating the last few races, we always just said Harry. So don't worry about that, man.
Stick to Harry. But Harry is the only one that's chosen to go ultra softs. So weird.
Yeah, interesting call from him. So currently, just coming across the line, the Toro Rosso V5 just 32.4 on the super soft tyres. I don't imagine we'll be seeing the most representative laps from these guys. Of course, they are just trying to get bankers in, make sure they have a time on the board. As we've got the championship leader Larkin now is rounding the final corner of the lap, coming up to the line. He has a 31.8. That is a very solid lap on the supers, but I think he can go quicker than that. We're looking who else is near the end of their lap. I believe Evolution will be one of the next cars to cross the line. He runs quite wide though, going through the long right-hander in sector 3, but it looks like he has backed off. So he is going to dive into the pits, and maybe do you think that he'll make a tyre change? Because these guys will only get 1 set of super soft tyres, which makes qualifying very difficult if they want to start on them.
Yeah, it's just a risk you have to take, and if a lot of people are out early on these tyres, you have to think that they're going to go, because obviously when the track's optimal at the end, they want to be out there, and if they're going early on these sets of super softs like Larkin and V5, who else is out there? Chapelele, and obviously Evolution's just gone back into the pits on them. You have to think that they're going out on the end, probably on a faster compound, so maybe more ultra softs more soft running from some of these guys at the end, but the soft runners should be alright. Maybe if they choose to go to the end, well, go right at the end onto the super softs, they should be fine. Not wearing those tyres too much, but these super soft runners have they've got a really tough decision to make. Do they stay on the super softs and just settle for the laps they've gone now? Do they go out again on the super softs, or do they go for the ultra softs towards the end?
Yeah, I don't think that two-stop is a particularly bad strategy around this track, starting with the ultras. So clearly, this is what's really interesting about this game, is that there seems to be a lot more tyre wear. Obviously, the recent patch has made tyre temperatures less of a factor, but you get a much bigger mix of strategies on this game than you did on the last game. Currently, I'm watching Harry as he rounds the final corner of his lap there, opens up the taps, runs up to the line, and gets a 31.0. That does seem like a reasonably representative time, so it looks like he's fully committed to qualifying on those ultras, because I don't know if he'd be able to improve on that time on the supers.
That has pretty much just forced all the other guys that want to try and get full position to move on to the ultras. So Larkin, V5, if they want to be on that pole position, they will have to put on a set of ultras. I don't think they can better that super soft time with those super softs that they've already used. So they'll have to go ultra softs if they want to take the pole off Harry there.
Yeah, currently looking around there, we've got Larkin is going out of the pits, and he's stuck on a set of the ultra soft tyres. So I believe that, yeah, these guys, in response to that lap from Harry, are going to try and set the fastest laps possible on the softest compound of tyre that they have available to them at this track. We've got yellows in sector 1, that's probably just, yeah, that's a V5 getting out of the pit lane. He's also put on the ultras, so you called it right there when you said that these guys that set their early laps on the supers going on to the ultras. So I think we'll be seeing a lot more drivers than we expected to be trying to hook up a lap on those softest compounds.
It's just the way it goes. If one driver goes on the ultra softs, a lot follow. So it's a lot less risk free if all the drivers go on the ultra softs, and well, if you then decide to go on the ultra soft yourself, it's a lot less of a risk in the race, and it can get you a lot higher up the grid. So yeah, these guys are basically just using. If they fail on their ultra soft laps, they've always got their super soft laps in hand. So.
Another reason why these guys might be trying to put down laps on the ultras is that I've just been looking in the chat. There is actually rain at the end of the race, as been pointing out by Jaco and Larkin very kindly in the chat. So that throws a spanner in the works then in terms of strategy, because one thing that could be interesting, and it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get that, but I was interested to see if some drivers might actually try and go on the softs, try and stretch them all the way to the rain. Those drivers starting outside that will end up starting outside the top 10, they might try that, so that's going to be very interesting. So because of the rain, it makes the super softs less desirable as a race strategy.
Yeah, because the slide in the middle, well, of the dry running, well, that makes the softs get you less use out of the softs, so will come into play a lot more then. You're thinking ultra softs to softs, and then to whatever tyre is needed for the end of the race, be it inters or maybe onto the full wet tyres, which I haven't seen in any race for a very long time. But I'm on board with Larkin as he comes through the final sector, that double left-hander, and onto, what is it, turn 19 here? No, turn 18, which is inspired off the stat that everyone knows. Turn 18 here.
Istanbul, yeah.
Yeah, turn 8 at Istanbul Park. But Larkin rounds the final corner and he goes on to a 30.7, so he takes provisional pole from Harry in this battle for whatever is left in the championship, right? But very good lap there from Larkin. I think V5 has backed off his lap, unless he goes again, I'm not sure. But I don't know who else is on the lap.
I have to say that the weather in this session is utterly dreary. Heavy clouds and overlooking the circuit. But I have seen a couple of occasions where I don't know if it's me being blind, but I have almost disillusioningly seen raindrops. So
I do that a lot.
I'm not sure. Yeah, good to know that I'm not the only one that's guilty of that. So we've got Harry, who's just started a lap, and we're gonna have a lap on board with the Toro Rosso Driver Championship contender. Hooks up the apex of turn 1, short steps into third gear, try and get the best traction as he can. Coming off of turn 1 into this fantastic S section. The drivers really, they push the limits here. They can try and get the most lap time as they can. Keep it tight now and swing it in there. Misses the apex a little bit. It's going to compromise this line. Going round into the second section, a bit of a slide, but it's almost inevitable through that corner. Now he exits now, coming down towards this hairpin now. And braking just after the 100 meter board, breaks down. Third gear, down into second to rotate the car. Traction onto this really, really long straight there. Opens up the taps, up into 7, DRS open, and the ERS flowing. Now going down, big braking zone into the third sector of the lap. Hard on the brakes, down into second gear. Just about manages to hook up the apex there and drifts out to the outside and then into this very long double, triple apex corner and into this very difficult corner to get right. I believe it might be turn 16, and now coming down into the reverse at Istanbul Park. Clips the apex there, try to keep it tight, maybe run it out wide, touches the curve a little bit, now swing it round into 19, trying to just about keep it on the track. He did go very close to the outside white line, and now down to second gear for the final corner, gets good traction coming off Harry, improves but doesn't beat that time of Larkin.
Oh, V5. V5, I think V5, yeah, V5 did improve there, but only to a 31.5. You feel like there could be a slight mistake on that lap, but yeah, he's now on an in lap. Don't know who else is on a full lap. Actually, I do now. Gamerholic coming through the end of that first sector into the second sector now, down towards the hairpin, and he's got to nail this traction for the back straight. Does he? Yes, he gets on the track on the throttle perfectly there. Now he can open up the DRS, as this is about a 10-second wait to do anything really, into the other hairpin. Well, there's about 3 hairpins on this, what, 4 hairpins on this track? A lot of hairpins on this track. And now into the third and most technical, well, it's debatable, that one. Most technical sector of the track. The whole track's very technical. So as he comes into turn 18 now, the 3 apex right-hander, and now the 2 lefts of 19 and 20. What can Gamerholic set as he gets to the line? Here he goes, up to the line now. Gamerholic goes third place with a 31.1.
Not a bad lap at all from Gamerholic. Unfortunately, while you were recovering that lap, we did have a couple of casualties in the session. Siviasti went out there, the Williams man. He will start no higher than 11th, which isn't going to be a bad thing because he does have great choice of tyre for the race, but V5 out as well, which I think is quite disappointing because I think he was a driver that was looking to improve there, because I know from racing, I mean, he is a very quick driver indeed. So looking around, I believe we're in that kind of dull part of the qualifying session where a lot of drivers just aren't really putting in their laps right now and more so preparing for their final flyers.
I've just gone on board with Shepalele. He has fitted on the soft tyres, and that is in a desperate bid to get a lap on the board, and you think if he can get inside the top 10 here, that is a very, very good strategy call from Ferrari man. His teammate also on the soft tyres right now, but his fastest lap was on the softs. I don't know if he's still on the softs. He is not. He's gone onto the ultra softs. So the only man trying to set a lap on the softs now is Chapelede as he comes into the towards the third sector now, and the second sector split is about here as he comes into the stadium section of Kota. He gets it round that right-hander into the very tricky left-hander of 16, 17 and 18. This long corner through here into the final 2 corners. What can Shepalele put on the board for Ferrari as he navigates through the final corner. He is going to set 33.3. It does put him inside the top 10 for now, but as we know, Tiggerby has stuck on the ultra soft tyres and is going for a lap that will try and see him into the top 10. Larkin is on a lap now as we speak, coming through the first sector, and he's navigated that very well.
He has indeed going down into the hairpin, and as you said earlier, really important, crucial, grab yourself good traction coming up there, a little bit of a wiggle going through the transition off the apex, but he's able to get it nice. So now opening the DRS, they're up into 8th gear. Energetics has gone P2 fractionally slower than the Force India of Larkin, who now heads himself into the second hairpin and just about able to navigate that small bit of sliding on the exit of the corner. Now puts it in the second, rotates the car, moving himself up into the left hander. They're trying to hook it up into the apex. Gamaholic is retired as well, but Larkin now, what kind of line is he going to run there? Lets the car drift out wide a little bit onto the outside curve, not quite touching it though. And now round 19 there into the final corner, hard on the brakes, misses the apex a little bit, but he's still going to get a decent run and a decent exit. Does he improve? Yes, he does. He does a 30.6. There's a marker for the rest of them to beat.
As you say that, Harry is on a lap, but he's gone wide, and that is it. Toro Rosso man cannot beat Larkin today. Energetics is also backed up a lap, so who is on a lap? Evolution, not on a lap. Joss is on a lap now through the final sector. What can he do? Can he, on this ultra soft tyre, challenge for pole here at Kota? As he comes through now, the triple right-hander now and around towards the pit complex. Turn 19, can maybe go a bit wide there, but he keeps it fully on the track. Now round turn 20, what can he set? Josh comes to the line and he goes second place, very close there to that pole time. And we have Extrema going into 4th as well. And now the only man left to set a time at the end of this session is Tiggerby, 12th right now on the softs, which won't be the worst, but he's on the ultra softs pushing hard. What can Tiggerby set to get himself inside the top 10? He slid slightly through turn 18 there and goes wide through turn 19, so could that have invalidated his lap as he comes through the final corner now? Tiggerby in the Ferrari, what's he going to set? It was invalid, did not improve. So both Ferraris outside the top 10 here at the Circuit of the Americas, and Larkin is on pole.
Larkin takes pole position there just ahead of EOS and the two Haas drivers, hot in pursuit of that Force India, I'm sure. So as the drivers now ready up there preparing for the race, we're going to run through the qualifying order. So Larkin does take pole position ahead of EOS, Energetics third, and Extrema gets a decent lap at the end to climb up to 4th. Harry, I think, will be disappointed with 5th, just had a Gamaholic in 6th. V5, another driver, probably would have expected more. He's going to start from 7th just ahead of Evolution. Jaco gets 9th, but he is going to start on the super soft tyres, so it'll be interesting to see if he's able to stretch them a bit further into the race. Obviously, we know about the rain that's going to entail and going to be an obstacle for these drivers. Jeroen Hagnius grabs himself the final top 10 slot in 10th place instead of Chapelele, Tiggerby, and I believe Siviasti rounding out the grids.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It is nice and sunny for the start of the race, at least. And I will interact with the chat as you do. J. Cole says, fun fact, on my wheel for the first time in a league race. So, J. Cole is on a learning curve in this race. And it'll be interesting to see where he can get from P9 on the grid on the super soft tyres. And it'll also be interesting to see what the two Ferraris and Saviasti do. What tyres they pick. Softs, you'd think, or the ultra softs could be the best shout for this race. But as the drivers picking their final setups, and as they have picked their final setups, we will go onto the formation lap as Larkin gets us underway for that. I will just check the tyres. And there we have it. Shepalele and Saviasti go on to the softs, whereas Tiggerby chose to go with the super softs. So none of them going for that softest compound, but all of them going to try and get it to that rain period, you would think, if they can.
Yeah, I think that's the plan for Shapalele and Seviasti. Both these guys, I know are much capable of much better results than that. They have shown both of them picking up podiums throughout the season. So I think that these guys know that they have some ground to make up, and are trying to go for a very alternate and unique strategy to everyone else. So we've got the cars warming their tyres now as they round themselves onto the back straight. Larkin takes yet another pole position. He got pole last time out in Japan as well. Jos, though, he has impressed as of late, and I think he is going to be a big challenge because obviously inside line into turn one last few years, where the car that starts in P2 has been able to jump up into first by the end of the first straight.
It's going to be an interesting... All on the first softest compound of tyres is not going to be as much of an advantage as we saw in the real-life US Grand Prix, but it is still an easy possibility for someone in on that inside, on the dirty side of the grid, to jump up, as it is the actually the shortest line to turn one, that hairpin, which has seen many an incident in real life. Are we going to get one in the Assist League? Find out as they round the final two corners at the end of this formation lap. The two Hasses, actually, second and third, I did not notice they were both so high up the grid. I actually didn't notice they were all Hasses. But second and third for the Haas team, and that's compared to Ferraris down in 11th and 12th. They've got some work to do in this race as Larkin lines up on his grid slot at the front, and we get the Williams in place at the back. So Larkin now, as the red lights come on, who's going to get the best start? And we're up to 5 red lights, and we go here in America. Who's going to get the best start out the front two? I think that, oh, they were quite even, and Josh is up the inside. Who's going to hold it? Who's going to get P1 out of the first corner? I think Larkin holds it. Larkin does hold it, and Larkin is away out of turn one. We've had some position changes in the background. Harry has managed to get past Extrema off the start and goes extremely wide there through the S's. Is he going to be able to hold that? J. Cole has lost a position battling with Tiggerby, and Tiggerby has gained a few. Shepalele down to the back, but it is the same as you were for the front three, as Josh now on the back of Larkin. Is he going to make a move into the hairpin here? Josh goes up the inside, and he has got Larkin, but Larkin will go for the switch back out the hairpin, and he is ahead again. But they're going to be side by side down into sector 2, down towards the end of sector 2. Who's going to get back ahead?
Larkin defensive there, going down into the big braking zone there, and Jos later on the brakes tries to hold it around the outside, can't quite manage it. Larkin able to shut the door, and he's got his teammate Energetics looking behind with Harry as well, tucked in after a battle with Extrema through the first couple of corners. Tiggerby still dueling with Jekyll there. These two going side by side there. Jekyll just about able to get ahead going into the third sector. Big dive on the inside from the Ferrari, but the switchback is there for Jekyll, but they come together, and Jekyll's into the wall. Just an oversteer from Tiggerby has tagged the Force India, unfortunately. And Tiggerby losing out himself a couple of places there. He may have got damage from that. He seems to be a decent carrying on. Jekyll, yeah, big damage for the Force India, so unlucky for him. But up front, Jos tucked into the slipstream, has a look to the inside but doesn't commit to it. He looks like he's just trying to size up the championship leader as the exit turn one, going down into the S's. The top 6 still very bunched up there, from Larkin down to Gameaholic, the Sauber driver, trying to pressure Extrema for that 5th place. He runs very wide there, going out of the first sector, but looks like he is able to hold that out. But Larkin still leads going out of the first lap, but the field's still very bunched up.
Yeah, this Haas of Jos really gaining out at the end of sector 1 and getting a great run on Larkin towards that straight, and it's really helping him. But the only thing is, you worry that he's going to get too close and do what he did on lap 1, just cook it under braking slightly and allow the switchback to happen. Larkin defends to the inside again towards the end of sector 2 and holds the position once again. But next lap with the DRS, we could see a different story as the Ferraris are battling in the background, and Saviasti actually moved up to 10th place now, doing a good job in the Williams on the soft tyres. But as they round the end of sector 3, that the two Hasses still in hot pursuit of Larkin, as Energetics runs really wide there, and Extrema got a massive wobble on the back end there through turn 19, but managed to save that as we're on board with Joss's nose cam here as we build up to turn 1. He has a look but can't do much. That, and there you have the confirmation. DRS enabled by the race control as they enter sector 1.
One of the reasons Joss has been just hassling the back of Larkin is he picks up a penalty there. He went over the white line there on the inside of the S's, but he has used a lot of VRS, has the Haas driver. That's why he's just been all over the back of Larkin, pressuring him. Larkin sitting on just over 60%, Joss on about 30%, so he's really pushing hard to try and seize track position, but that penalty is going to be a big hindrance to him early on. Still the top 8, very close there on the track there, in a bit of a train at the moment, as Joss is going to have his first bite of the cherry with DRS. He's going to get a good run. He has had looks to the outside every time going into this hairpin. This time he has a little sniff to the inside line, but again hangs back. He's not exactly going all out aggressive, which is fair enough. We don't want to be having incidents at this early point in the race, but he does look a bit quicker than the Force India at this stage. He's going to try and switch it to the inside. Follows Larkin out wide there as they sweep around into the third sector. V5 all over the back of Evolution as well. The Red Bull man under pressure as they go through turn 18, 19. Larkin still leads. Joss still pressuring him, and certainly most of the field still very bunched up.
Yeah, I saw someone dart to the inside there. I don't know if that was a dummy into the pits or if that was actually someone pitting. I think it was only a dummy. I think it might have been I don't know, it might have been the Red Bull of Evolution or Extreme. I'm not entirely sure, but they decided to stay out in the end. A gap has been created between the Toro Rosso of Harry and the Mercedes of Extrema. Now 1.5 seconds the gap, as Gamerholic is all over the back of that Mercedes, looking to get past through the S's, but can't do so there. And as you can see on the screen, there's the gap. Tiggerby in 12th place picks up a time penalty for multiple warnings through the first sector. Very easy to do round the USA, very technical first sector. Very easy.
Then inside. Then inside goes Gamerholic there. He has a little bit of wheel bagging with the Mercedes of Extrema. Extrema able to hold it ready outside, but the DRS is with the Cyberman. Extrema struggling in the early laps of this Grand Prix, certainly, but Gamerholic moves himself to the inside as he just about got the move done. Extrema late on the brakes, but he's in a bit of a box there on the outside of the hairpin, and the Gamerholic is able to pick up the position. He has looked quick in these opening few laps. Shape of Lily tries to hold it right outside of Jeroen Hagne as they go very close. The Sauber and the Ferrari not showing each other any respect there. They're going at it, and the two Ferraris getting very close as Jeroen seems to have gone off the track there. Hagne is off the side of the circuit there, unfortunately for him. I think that looked like a bit of an unforced error from him, but Shape Lily still leading that Ferrari battle. V5 having a little look into the final corner on Evolution, gets a decent run, and we'll see what's going to happen on the run down towards turn 1.
Sorry to interrupt, but Joss and Energetics are going at it. And now Harry's involved, but Energetics did get past Joss towards the end of lap 4 there, and sorry I didn't get it on screen. I was watching the battle between Gamerholic and Extrema, but now Harry involved in this battle, and Joss falling off the back of Larkin. Now Larkin's starting to pull away. The gap now a second, but I don't know if he's going to pull it back into DRS range, which will hamper his teammate, but might actually help his teammate get away from Harry a little bit. We'll see as he comes down onto the DRS now, where we have, yes, they all have DRS on and Larkin is the only one without it at the moment, and Gamerholic. But this 4-car train, which one's going to get past Harry, is looking extremely quick on the back of these two Hasses, and I think we give it a lap or two and he can get past those, as V5 is side by side with Evolution through that left-hander and into, yeah, the double left now. He goes up the inside. Evolution's off the track. And will he be allowed to keep that position? I don't know, as V5 goes around the outside and takes the position of Evolution. Very good move from V5 there into turn 18.
Early pit stop from Gamerholic. The Cyberman pulls in immediately there as Yoss has cut back up to the back of Larkin, up to the outside, down towards turn 1. Is he going to be able to be late on the brakes? Larkin holds the inside line nicely, runs wide on the exit, very wide off the track, and Yoss gets his nose ahead into turn 2 and sweeps round into the lead. Yoss finally able to break the brave defence of the Force India man.
Whoa,
and now gets
Larkin
really out of shape. He gets way out of shape, and that's going to give Energetics a little look running outside. Is he going to dive it? Has Larkin as he's lit up the tyres? I'm not sure what's going on with him, but he seems to be sliding around all over the place.
The gap was a second, only a lap ago, and now it's a second and a half the other direction. So he's lost 2.5 seconds in this last lap as Harry goes up the inside of Energetics into the hairpin, and he gets that done very nicely. Will Energetics be able to get the switch on Harry? They will both have DRS, as Energetics was close enough to Larkin, and it's just going to be who's got the superior straight line speed down towards the other hairpin on the track. And I think Energetics will keep this, but Harry's going to go round the outside. Oh, Harry's got round the outside as Energetics was slightly boxed in by Larkin, and he's held that. Joss with another time penalty as he tries to pull away now. He's got some serious time to gain, 6 seconds already of penalties. But Harry passed the other Haas of Energetics, and now on the back of the championship rival Larkin. He has to close that gap down, and he has to get past Larkin as quickly as possible. He's all over the back of that Force India as the Force India reels into the pit lane, and Harry follows as well, so they're all into the pit lane. Oh, Harry's tried it. That was very risky from Harry. It was good attempt though, as Force India is now into his pit box. Toro Rosso also into his. They're both. Oh, Harry's gone onto the super softs and has been held. Harry's been held, and Larkin is back in front. So that's probably a second gap now between those two. Harry got a big, well, got held up a lot. I don't know if it was by the Haas of Energetics there, but that's not going to help him. And now they are out. And I think actually Gamerholic has jumped Harry in the pit stops. So
yeah, he's really hassling. He's really pushing the back of Larkin as well. The Force India man under pressure. Gamerholic, of course, pitted early on lap 5, and he's used that undercut to his advantage with all the carnage in the pits. The big loser to the pit stop phase was Energetics. He lost out, and he's now behind the Red Bull of Evolution there. So misfortune for the Haas man, who was fighting for the leader as race at one point. He is going to have to try and stage a fight back, but Larkin now looking to use this to undercut Yoss. So I don't know if he's being able to manage the tyres. He could be struggling quite about the gap between them. About 21.5 seconds, but Gamerholic looks very hungry for this. Has a look to the inside, late on the brakes as well. Larkin gives him just enough space. Gamerholic runs into the side of the Force India a little bit now, braking. Larkin very late on the brakes. Gamerholic tries to get the switch back. Is he going to go for the move down the inside? No, he does have a little look, but doesn't quite make it stick. Now Harry is putting that Sauber under pressure as Yoss and Extreme and the leaders go into the pits with V5 staying out.
V5 the only one in the Ultra Soft staying out, and as they pit, Harry was the only one to choose the Super Softs. Everyone else has gone onto the soft compound of tyre. But Harry looking all over the back of this Sauber, but as you said, Gamerholic is all over the back of Larkin, so it's going to be interesting as Joss coming out of the pit lane now. He is in the provisional lead of this race, by some as well, ahead of Larkin. That is quite a big gap between the Force India and the Haas, 2.5 seconds already. So he managed to pull away on those Ultra Softs, and Harry picks up a penalty there. But Joss managed to pull away on those Super Softs, but now has to push those soft tyres that he's gone onto just to get the tyre temps up. I think that was why Gamerholic was all over the back of Larkin. He's now not pushing him as much as possible because Larkin's tyres have now warmed up. It took them about a lap to get up to temperature, whereas Harry's were instantly up to temperature on the super soft. So that's why he's threatening Gamerholic right now. But Harry needs to get past Gamerholic to have a crack at Larkin if he's to do anything about this championship battle.
Well, he has a tiny late move from Gamerholic on the inside. I don't think Larkin was expecting that. They come together a little bit now. Harry trying to take advantage down the inside. Super late breaking from the Toro Rosso. And he's just about able to get it, or has he? Gamerholic trying to hold it on the outside. Gets a better shape and can't quite make the move. Harry moves up a place. And now Zios really struggling to overheat the tyres. Looks like Larkin is almost getting himself back into that DRS range. The gap between them 1.3 seconds as V5 pulls onto the pits, but Harry on the super softs has, especially with the penalty, has got to get a move on now as he threatens Larkin.
It's going to be interesting to see where V5 comes out in all of this. He was a bit further back from these guys, but not too far back. But he's actually exiting the pits now. He's going to be behind Gamerholic as Harry goes up the inside of Larkin into turn 1. Will Larkin get the switch back? No, he won't. He doesn't get the traction. And Harry moves up into provisional P2 there. P5 right now. But V5 has come out, battling with Extrema. So he's not out of this battle. 3 seconds back from Gamerholic, who's right on the back of these guys. So he is not out of this, as Harry now 1.2 off Joss. Can he catch up on the faster compound of tyres? Joss's tyres probably up to temperature now, so he has to close up on that Haas. He has to really push if this rain is going to come and not ruin his strategy. I don't think they'll go all the way to the end, so if this rain doesn't come heavy enough, Harry could be in trouble, as Larkin does have the DRS, but a bit far back. There are yellows in Sector 2. I don't know who that is.
It's Jaco.
It's Jaco. Is it? Has he spun again? No, I think he has. He's lost a lot of time because he was only 2 seconds back. V5 still behind the Mercedes, but he has to get past soon. Obviously, his first lap out of the pits, his tyres are going to be cold, but he is hampering his race. 3 seconds back now from Gamerholic, and Energetic's not too far, well, 2 seconds back from him, so he's got to be careful. He has to get past this Mercedes, though, if he's got any chance of a podium from this race.
Well, he didn't get the best run through the last section, dropped back from the Mercedes, was trying to heat his tyres up, obviously, it's the V5, and that may be a reason why he's struggling. Larkin has actually managed to stay quite close to the back of the Toro Rosso of Harry, who may be trying to look after the tyres just to be sure that he makes it to the rain when it comes. Larkin runs very wide coming out the S section and drops back quite a bit of time. He's now just out of that DRS range of Harry. It's a real battle between these two championship rivals for the DRS as Harry's continuing to push Yoss. I think he has shown so far he's probably the fastest car on track, and he's just about been able to maintain the gap to Harry despite the fact that he has the slower compounded tyres. Harry's still pushing though. Gamerholic trying to hold on to these guys, and V5 may have another try at Extreme, although he is going to have to come from a decent way back. These guys all running, still the field bunched up, or down now. It's the hairpin on lap 10.
I have a horrible camera angle. It showed me the view from his rear wing pointing forward, so all I saw was his engine cover. But now it's back to a normal shot of the Toro Rosso driver, number 23. So he's quite clearly a big Albon fan, I guess. But as they come through the final sector now, he's closed back up to Extrema, 5 tenths now the gap. But he lost a lot of time through the final sector on the last lap. But he needs to get back if he is to challenge Extrema. He has now surely heated up his tyres, but still not close enough to that Mercedes to do anything about it, as the leader Saviasti picks up a time penalty. Just only about 9 to 10 seconds back from the race leader in the Williams. The two Ferraris going along in this race as well. Tiggerby, actually on the super soft tyres, is doing a very good job running to lap 11 at least. If he can go any further, I don't know, but he's going very long into the race, and I have a feeling that the soft runners might stay out for the rain, so we'll have to wait and see. But that could, I don't know, it depends on how much their tyres fall off before that point. As V5 now right on the back of Extrema as we go down the second DRS straight of the lap. 2-3 tenths the gap. can he get close enough into the hairpin? I don't know. He's going to be close. He's going to go to the outside of the Mercedes. The Mercedes defends the inside. V5 going to go for the switchback, is he? I don't know. He's a bit too far back. As he goes up the inside now.
Ooh.
Dives it up the inside. Very late move from V5. And he can't do anything about that. Is he going to go to the inside now? And there's contact between the Mercedes and the Toro Rosso. I don't think there was any damage come off either car. But V5 still behind the Mercedes. As Tiggerby comes into the pits.
Tiggerby wasn't able to make those supers last too long. V5 picks up a penalty. He was being very feisty there. I think he's frustrated behind that Mercedes and he's been stuck behind for a lot of this race. Tiggerby's coming to the pits. He has actually had a wing fix, so maybe just picking a bit earlier, getting that out of the way. He was duking with his teammate earlier on, so maybe he did pick up damage in that battle. Yoss catching Sevi by about a second a lap, and that could mean that they could be very close with the rain coming later on, but personally I don't see much rain at all. In fact, the sky still seems reasonably clear, but is beginning to cloud over.
Has Jeff pulled another fast one? That is a good question. Has he lied to everyone with the weather? But we'll just have to wait and see, as there are still 16 laps of this Grand Prix to go. We're not yet at halfway distance, as V5 now a bit further back from last lap, but still has a decent chance. How much ERS does he have? He has about half a bar, but Extrema still just a bit too far away from the Toro Rosso into the braking zone. V5 can't do anything there, as he loses the back end on exit as well of the hairpin and really hampered his run into the next corner where he tried it last lap. But 6 tenths back, and it doesn't look like a move's happening right away.
Yeah, he put it into neutral, which is why he got such a slide tail snap on there. He seems to be struggling a little bit, trying to hang in that DRS range of Extrema. It's nail-bitingly close, and certainly Energetics has managed to close up on these guys after a poor pit phase for the Haas van. But certainly, Harry not exactly making the impression on Yoss that I thought. In fact, the gap staying pretty stagnant at just over a second. So Harry not quite finding the pace that I was expecting from him. Larkin trying to hang on to the back of them, and it's Gameaholic that's actually dropped back from these guys. But Extrema still managing to hold on, but I think the man that we could be looking at in these next couple of laps is Energetics, because he has looked very quick and he's continuing to close on the Toro Rosso V5, who picks up another penalty.
Yeah, I just went on board with Harry, and Harry is very, very low on the ERS, so I think he should be trying to save that and then go for a run on Joss. Joss looking alright on the ERS front. Still not gaining as much on Saviasti as he was before. It's now only down to 8.5 seconds, but still making inroads, and when they pit, if they pit, he should be in the lead of this race. But Harry still not losing too much, but it's very, very, very stagnant as it stands. Energetics still on the back of V5, but can't really make any inroads as V5 has the DRS of Extrema. And this battle is becoming very stagnant as well, so not many battles that are happening. Very stagnant from all of them.
Well, there is one prospect in store here. You know how Ship Lily has managed to take the soft assistance, trying to make it to the rain well. He has got company of the race leaders, well, the net race leaders if you like. Yoss trying to close up that gap. He's just about in that DRS range and going much quicker on much fresher soft tyres, so we could be seeing a change for P2 potentially, and this could really help Sevi if these guys get held up. If Yoss gets held up in particular, and Sevi, that gap is not going to be going down with these guys battling, so Yoss has got to get past this Ferrari very quickly. Gets a good run coming out the S section, and now going down into the hairpin. It's crucial for Yoss now, the Haas, to get a strong exit versus the Ferrari. Let's have a look at Shape. He gets a decent exit, but so does Yoss, and Yoss closing in there. He's half a second back there with DRS about to open, and there it is. Here comes Yoss. Can he get it done early as Extrema battling with V5 in the background as Yoss moves to the inside, and it's a nice easy move for the net race leader, and that's very crucial for him. And now, as these guys all beginning to stack up in Gameaholic further down the field, down the inside goes V5 on Extrema. The Mercedes driver closes the door aggressively, and these guys going to war, banging wheels all over the place, but Extrema able to regain the position from V5 as the Toro also going to have another look back at him, not quite. Energetics tucked in behind, but it's Gameaholic that's really been struggling for pace in the recent laps and has been beginning to hold up a bit of a train behind him.
Yeah, he's falling back into this bunch of free cars. Pace has dropped off since the pit stops. Guess he's not getting he's well out of the tow anymore, so he has work to do in that Sauber as this 4-car train. All of them in the DRS range now, so it is going to be a bit of a slipstream fest for these guys, but who can get out on top? As you've seen, V5 trying to get past Extreme for the last couple of laps, but Gameaholic is losing so much time now to the Mercedes. It's just a matter of time before he falls back into this bunch properly and has to battle it out. But V5 still closing up to that Mercedes through that first sector, and Energetic's still in there. But can't really get anything done because of the triple slipstream. Everyone else has got slipstream as well, so we can't do much about that as they break down into the hairpin before the long straight here. And V5 got a very good... Oh no, he had a wobble at the end, but Extreme a bit far back from Gameaholic as well, so this could be a chance for V5. Can he get enough of a tow to challenge Extreme? I don't think he can, and that is going to stay the same. It's Extrema now right on the back of Gameaholic, 4 tenths the gap, and this is where Gameaholic loses out most of the time.
While you're recovering that battle, Harry was able to breeze past Shape down the straight and move up into P3 under the roads. But crucial for him is trying to gap Larkin behind him. The Force India man still could be in contention for the race win once penalties are applied, because Harry has 3 seconds penalties, Yoss has at least 6 seconds, I think. He is catching Sevi, but not that quickly as it begins to cloud over, and I think Sevi is praying for the rain at this point. Is it going to come down quickly enough for him? If he is forced to pit, he's going to come out right at the lower into the top 10, and that is not going to help him. Picks up a penalty there, does the Williams man. Unfortunate for him as Zios chips the gap down. It's now under 6 seconds as Extrema trying to pressure that struggling Sauber of Gameaholic as they sweep through the S section there. Extrema trying to put the pressure on, but Gameaholic is able to defend well. This 4-car train still intact as Extrema could be able to get the move done.
As you say, that Larkin building up towards the back of Shepelele down the straight now. He's going to have DRS on the Ferrari man, but actually Shepelele just out of DRS range of Harry as well, so this is Larkin's opportunity. Can he get close enough to the Ferrari to make a move into the hairpin? He goes for it, and Shepelele does not defend pretty wise considering the tyre difference, and Larkin now has to chase back on Harry as Gameaholic and Extreme are battling. Extrema goes up the inside of Gameaholic. That's very close to contact there. Gameaholic manages to hold it round the outside. He's going to have the inside line for the next corner as Extrema goes for the switchback. Can he get this done? As Gameaholic wide, but he's going to hold on to that, I think, through the triple right-hander of turn 18. But look at the Mercedes. He's closing up massively. Is he going to go for it? No, he sticks behind through turn 19. And that order will stay the same for at least 2 more corners as they come through the final corner now. Is Extrema going to get the run on Gameaholic this time around into turn 1? He's got the DRS. Has he got enough of a run on Gameaholic? As Gameaholic goes to the inside, Extrema going to go to the outside of turn 1, and the Sauberman late on the brakes. Extrema goes for the switch back. Who's going to get the better traction as Extrema has the fresher tyres on Gameaholic, but Gameaholic holds on for that P6, and he's still ahead of Extrema. Picks up a time penalty. These guys are really bunching up now. The second separate 4 cars. This is ridiculous. How they're managing to keep it clean.
Hopefully having commentators curse it there as they round themselves going down into the hairpin. Gameaholic getting very defensive. He's not showing any mercy, not showing any remorse to Extrema as my screen was a glitch when the rain just started to come down. But anyway, Extrema now tucked into the slipstream, pulls to the inside. I think this time he's got the moved on V5 though, he's got the double toe. Is he going to be able to move to the inside? Is he going to go aggressive? Extrema gets ahead of the Sauber, and V5 follows through. Gamaholic tries to get the switchback, but it doesn't work. He doesn't have the traction on older tyres. V5 finally has some success, gets past Gamaholic, but he's still got that view ahead of him of the Mercedes, which I think he's getting quite tired of at this point.
You said it was a glitch, but it's not. It is actually, the rain is coming down here in Texas. We have rain. So Saviasti has managed to stay out for 18 laps. Shepalele does pit as well. He managed to stay out the laps. Is that onto a set of the Inters? Yes, it is. So Shepalele is the first to move on to the Inters. I don't know if it's too soon, but we'll find out by the end of this lap, as the rest of the drivers all carry on for one more lap at least. The rain is coming down here at the Circuit of the Americas. It is starting to get heavier as Extrema now pulling away from this battle. So you can see the pace he did have, and he's been held up quite a lot by Gamaholic there, but now pulling away. But Larkin now on the back of Harry, as Harry's tyres are starting to come to the end of their life. I don't know how many laps he's done, well over 10, I don't know. But he is going to be slipstreamed down to the hairpin now. 11 laps for Harry on these tyres. As Larkin tries it round the outside, he's going to be able to hold it on his championship rival. He goes all the way round the outside. Harry, what can he do to battle Larkin? He goes for the switchback, but can't get the traction on his worn super softs. And Larkin is passed as Gamaholic gets back past V5 in the background there.
Yeah, just watching Shepalele, it does seem to be too soon for the Ferrari, unfortunately. But this is the question is, can Sevi keep that car on the island, keep those tyres going, and keep going before Jos gets up to the back of the gap between them about 3 seconds? I believe those guys are quite even when it comes to penalties, and in terms of penalties, you've got to say it's advantage Larkin, as I don't believe he's picked up a single one as of yet. Harry, on this wearing and dying tyres, is trying to just hang on to the Force India up until these guys pitting for Entos. If it even gets to that, we have had races where it hasn't, well, it has rained and it just hasn't quite got to the intermediate conditions. But Harry really struggling. You can see on board with him, he's hardly using any steering lock. He's just cruising around trying to keep the car on the island. And even though he's got a 7-second gap to Extrema, I wouldn't be surprised if that starts coming down.
Yeah, and Energetics has also fallen off the back of the train as the Extrema's pulled away. It's now only the two-way battle for P6, as V5 still all over the back of Gamaholic as they come down to the hairpin now for the 19th time in this race. V5 got a good exit as well, so he's got a chance on the Sauber driver, as Extrema there not really pulling away as much as possible. But now Toro Rosso in the background, can he get a move done on the Sauber into the hairpin? No, he cannot, and they will stay that way for probably another lap. V5 still struggling to get past the Sauber, but other than that, not much is happening right now. Harry still staying on the back of Larkin and this battle for P6, so it's all, and also Joss closing in on Saviasti, so we'll have to watch I will keep an eye on that as that develops. But lap 20 now, and all the drivers are still staying out. So Shepalele has actually, and Shepalele has also been overtaken by Girouen. So it was way too early, but it is coming down heavier now. You can visibly see it on the broadcast cameras now, so it is coming down a lot heavier.
Well, the cue for these drivers to pit onto set of intermediates is the DRS being disabled, and that is officially the crossover point when the race control disables that DRS. Harry's doing a good job out there, actually, being able to maintain that gap to Larkin on his tyres that are screaming for mercy at this point, trying to hang on. V5 still hassling the back of Gamaholic, trying to get a good run. He's very high on the ERS, almost 100% there. The Energetics picks up yet another penalty. I believe that's second bit. Seems to be struggling out there as the conditions get tougher and the going gets rougher, as we're really close enough to Gamaholic on this occasion. Harry still hanging on to the back of Larkin as Jos continues to close on the Williams of Sofia. Have his tyres fallen off the cliff after such a great drive? Up to this point, he is begging for the rain to come down heavier as Jos begins to apply the pressure now as the Haas driver closes in. He has got penalties, but he's still got a good chance of getting a top result here. Is he going to be able to dispatch the Williams before the rain starts really coming down?
This is a crucial time because now you can see the difference in the tyre life. The rain just emphasises the tyre wear to a greater extent. So the gaps start to grow as the rain gets heavier before they pit for inters. So you can see Harry now falling off the back majorly of Larkin. So that's a sign that this could be definitely the crossover point as Josh picks up another penalty. But as you can see, Saviasti's tyres a lot older. And Josh closing up massively as Gamerholic has lost a lot of time there. Is that a half spin on the Sauber?
Yeah, he had a half spin coming out of turn 1, but up front, Sevi, it looks like his great stint is finally beginning to disappear here as Jos begins to apply everything that he has now. He's in the slipstream, got DRS, he's not using the most of his ERS, but he's still going to get close enough. He's going to go for a move on the inside. He's got much better tyres, so he has got the grip. His shape literally goes out there, but these guys continuing to battle away. Sevi holds it running outside nicely. Now Jos, he knows he's got the grip. Is he going to go for a switchback? Sevi parks his car very nicely there, and Jos has nowhere to go but stick behind. Sevi doing wonderful work there to try and keep the Haas man behind, but it does help that Force India of Larkin sitting in P3, and they've got yellows in Sector 1. I'm not sure what that was for, but these guys now... Okay, thanks for that. But yeah, Jos continuing to put the pressure on, but Sevi not cracking. These guys now starting lap 22. We're running out of laps in this race, and Sevi's tyres, well, they must be falling off the cliff at this point.
Yeah, as Harry comes into the pits here on lap 22, there's more yellow flags out. That must be Shepalele's car. I'm not entirely sure. There's no one else in Sector 1 except from the front runners, as Harry and V5 are both pitted at the same time. So this Toro Rossos, are they going to double stack it? Are the Toro Rosso crew ready for V5? No, it doesn't look like they are. No, they're just a bit delayed on V5's car, and V5's getting a front wing change. Maybe that's why he was a bit slower. He's getting a front wing change, and he got held up a little bit. I feel like the Haas of Energetics, who also got a front wing change, is going to jump the V5. No, V5 is miles at pit lane, so they come out of the pits now. Harry got a penalty as he came out of the pits. He's got Tiggerby right behind him, and Evolution was off there. And oh, the conditions are chaos. Oh. Tiggerby losing the back end there.
Yeah, these guys now all really struggling. It's definitely getting towards a crossover point. Both enters and the slicks really just neither of them working well in these conditions. Evolution, though, it does look like he's got the pace on Harry. Dives it down the inside as Harry got in too early. He maybe had no choice with the tyres going off, but they're going to run parallel. And Tiggerby's going to have the double two. He's going to go to the inside there. Evolution's got DRS, but he doesn't have the momentum on the Ferrari. Tiggerby looks to the inside. Evolution's managed to get himself in front, but earliest on the brakes out of the three. Tiggerby on the inside line. Has he just been able to get it? Yes, he has. And Harry gets good drive coming off the corner, but does he have the grip to even contest Evolution? He does actually get the switchback. It doesn't look like there's much in it between these guys in terms of tyres. Sevi comes into the pits after losing out to Jos earlier on in the lap. Harry trying to press, and it looks like those pretty much now. It looks like it's about a stalemate.
Extrema crashed into the pit lane. He was going into the pits. He made a late call, and I think he started to lose he lost the back end as he went in, and just clattered the Armco. So that is his race over in the pit lane. Unfortunately, the Mercedes driver having a very good race and defending very well. But now out of this one, as Harry now, I think Harry's got the tyre advantage now as he's closing back up to Evolution. He's got the grip. So I think now the crossover point, it's definitely onto the Inters. The Inters are now favoured. He's got the grip. Can he get enough of a drive through Sector 1? I don't know actually. He had the beating of the Red Bull into turn 1, but now he's losing the back end through this sector, so I don't know. It's It's a difficult position for people to be in. The Gamerholic's still on the soft, so I don't. This is going to be a tight one to call. Who has called it right? But I think Harry's actually lost a lot of time now, so I don't know.
Well, fellow intermediate runner Sevi on his first tyre tries to go running outside of Gamerholic trying to push it on the brakes, but Sevi looks like he's just got more grip there as he switched on the outside and does a half spin. A half spin from the server. He's just about able to save it and keep himself going, but yeah, it seems like some drivers faring better than others on these conditions, and Larkin struggling a little bit as well, and he is going to go into the pits behind Jos. So Jos trusting in the strategy to stay out, but it looks just so difficult for both tyre sets, and Harry has actually managed to dispatch Revolution. His Tegami slides. This has to be the crossover point now.
Yeah, it's really looking good for the Inter-runners now, because Seviasti gained a lot of time on Gamerholic in that lap, and he's keeping it on the road with Annie's slides. So Gamerholic does pit, as does Tigaby. Evolution, I think that was staying out. No, he pits. So where is Larkin come out? Yeah, Larkin has come out miles up the road from Harry, so he's lost a lot of time. But Larkin now behind Seviasti, and you have to feel that Jos could be behind the Williams driver as well, as Jos left it too long. There we go, DRS is disabled, so has Jos left it one lap too long to come into the pits? Larkin, has he called it perfectly? Who knows? We've got 4 laps left of this American Grand Prix to find out. Harry has definitely lost a lot of time. 7 seconds now from him to Larkin in front.
Is Jos going to brave it out and try and take these tyres, these softs to the end? But I'm just watching him. It's painful to watch. He's sliding around all over the shop, and he must know that he's potentially made the wrong call. Sevi really into the gap. But what is Jos going to do here? I don't think he's going to be able to maintain possession ahead of Sevi, even if he does stay out, because the tyres have just gone completely. He can still get a podium if he's able to nurse the car back to the pits, but look at it, half throttle around turn 16, 17, 18 as he goes around into 19. Does he dive into the pits? He struggles to get on the throttle. Yes, he does go into the pits. Is this the move that gives Sevi the race win? That's not going to help Jos. A penalty as he goes into the pits.
He lost 2 seconds on that lap alone. It was pushing 3 seconds, to be honest. And now, as he entered the pits, obviously that penalty, he's on about 12 seconds, I think, that from Jos. So we'll have to watch. Sevi is going to come out in the race lead as he comes down the pit straight now. Where is Larkin going to be between him and the Haas? I think Larkin is going to be side by side. No, Larkin is going to be ahead of the Haas driver. Larkin has managed to jump. He called it perfectly 1 lap prior to the Haas driver's pit. And now Jos has a lot of work to do. He has 3 seconds to gain on the leaders, excluding penalties, so he has a lot of work to do. Harry's still in 4th place, so not gaining massively out of that. Field spread out except from the front 3 now. It is that battle to see who will finish on the top spot. 4 laps to go, but Larkin is reeling in the Williams in 1st place.
Larkin in pole position to win this race because he doesn't have a penalty. In fact, he only has 1 warning at this stage. He's just done a great job of keeping it clean, and he could be rewarded at the end of this race, but he's still trying to put the pressure on. Jos has seen a potential win slip between his fingers here. If he called it perfectly, he might have still had a chance, even with penalties, at challenging Larkin, but I don't think he has much chance of that now, as Larkin, well, he must be feeling fantastic right now. He called it right. He's got 1 lap fresher tyres than the Williams ahead of him, and is closing and applying pressure. Sevi, remember, you can't forget that he started dead last in this race. He's had a great drive regardless, but I can't see him doing much against that charging Force India behind.
It's going to be interesting because when you get behind someone in the wet, it's very difficult to see where you're going, and that can hamper you down the straight if you can't get. If you're right behind them going into the corner prior to the straight, you're very tempted to brake early just to avoid hitting them because you can't see exactly where they are. It can hamper someone down a straight, so it depends. If Larkin gets close enough, will he be able to hold on and slipstream down the straight? Or is the Williams driver going to be able to hold on for the last 3 laps of this Grand Prix as we enter lap 26 out of 28, down the hill into turn 2. The Force India around a second behind the Williams. He's gained 2 2 seconds in a second in 2 laps, and he's got to do the same if he wants to win this race. But it is all in Larkin's favour, as he has no penalties, and then Sevi definitely has at least one. So it's going to be interesting. As Josh gets another penalty, will that bring Harry into play? Actually, that could bring Harry into play, depending on how many penalties Harry has. But that is about 5 for Josh now, so I don't know. It will be interesting when they cross the line.
Yeah, he also had 5 penalties, I believe. Harry on 3. So Harry does still have a bit of work to do if he wants to get on the podium in this race, as Larkin continues to push and close up that gap to the Williams ahead, as Tigamy battles away with Energetics, who spun it coming in through the S section. A promising race early on in his championship challenge. Seems to be going out the window at this point, as he is having a bit of a disaster now, down in 9th place. Larkin continuing to pressure 7, but when you get up behind the car, you mentioned the spray that causes... Oh,
Jeroen has spun as well, in the first sector as well, battling with J. Cole, and he's spun in the same spot as Energetics. So that was a moment of synchronization between the two.
Yeah, unfortunate for him, as Larkin continues to try and apply pressure there for the lead of this race. Of course, he doesn't have to. He can just sit tight, and I don't know if he is going to, because when you do come up behind the car in the wet, along with the spray, as you mentioned earlier, you do lose quite a lot of grip in the wake of another car. So, looks like Larkin may struggle to get much closer there. Though through this exit section, he does seem very good, very clean with his lines, and Sevi, on the other hand, oversteering as Larkin closes in. But Larkin, I don't think is pushing as hard as he can be doing there. P5 still running in P6 after a frustrating race for him. Gameaholic in P5, just maintaining station. Of course, maybe without a poor middle stint for him, he could have been up there with some of the cars ahead. But Sevi still leading, Larkin still behind him, and now they're coming down now on the back straight for the penultimate time. Larkin in the slipstream. But do you think that he's really pushing, or is he just cruising here behind the Williams?
I think he's definitely cruising, but he has to watch out. Getting behind a car in the wet, it can be extremely easy to wander slightly off track. I don't know how many warnings he's had for off tracks, but it could easily end up with him getting a penalty. That just has to avoid that now, and he will come away with this race win here in America. 1 lap to go. Will Seviasti manage to force Larkin into a mistake, or will Larkin manage to just hold on and take this win on penalties? As Larkin now going to go, well, Seviasti goes defensive to the inside, but moves back over at the end of the straight, and the Force India is still behind the Williams. No way past there.
Ooh. Aaron Hackney disqualified on the final lap for penalties. It just picked up another one, and that's bizarre. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. But anyway, as Larkin continues to just sit behind Sevi, going into turn 1, he was just lifting and coasting. So I don't imagine that he's really going all out for this. I think he knows that he has this race won, as the rain continuing to fall down heavier. So I think he does have to just take it easy. As you can see, the rain definitely getting heavier. I wouldn't say it's getting up towards the wet conditions, but these guys will be struggling. As down the back straight there, final time, looks like Sevi is going to take this on track. I don't think Larkin's really threatening, but of course with penalties, Larkin not getting a single one, keeping it clean, I think he's going to be rewarded with the race win.
I don't know, actually. If he cuts one more time, he might get a penalty here, because I think he made a slight little cut through sector 1. He's got to be very, very careful around these last couple of corners. Running wide at turn 18 can sometimes get you a warning, so he's got to be extremely careful just to keep it on track. And if he does that, he will surely come away with this race victory here at Kota. Energetics picks up a penalty. Got me a bit scared for Larkin there. But as they round the final corner, Seviasti is going to take the win on track. But that is going to be Larkin taking P1 because of penalties as Joss finishes 12 seconds back from Seviasti at the end. Seviasti finished 9 seconds of penalties. That was Joss with about 15 seconds. Harry only 2 seconds off the podium at the end there for the Toro Rosso driver, as Gamerholic and V5 will now cross the line. Who gets ahead of them on penalties? V5 will take P5 through penalties, and then Evolution will come home in 7th, and then all the other drivers will come home in the points. J. Cole, after that lap 1 incident with Tiggerby, will come home in 8th place here, as long, I'm pretty sure he will stay ahead of Energetics on penalties. So as J. Cole rounds the final couple of corners, he's going to take 4 points from this race after him being dead last on lap 1. Great recovery drive from him to P8 there. Energetics so good at the start, started P3, had a great start, was battling for P2 for a long time, ended up P9 because of a couple of mistakes, as Tiggerby now crosses the line for P10, and that is the US Grand Prix for the Assist League.
So Larkin taking yet another win. I don't believe he's mathematically wrapped up the championship just yet, but he's moved one step closer. As for driver of the day, I think I have to say Sevi. If you remember, he did start last on the grid, made those soft tires last, where others couldn't. So I think that he definitely deserves driver of the day and could have potentially won the race if he was a bit cleaner. But yeah, Larkin takes out the race win. Also joining on the podium was Yoss after looking probably the fastest car on track for most of that race. I think he'll be disappointed with third. But anyway, Larkin moves another step closer as we round off the results for the American Grand Prix.
There you have it, Larkin, a pole to race win for the Force India, as he extends another 13 points above Harry, as Seviasti comes from the back of the grid to finish 2nd place. Joss in 3rd, with Harry in 4th. V5, the other Toro Rosso, behind his teammate in 5th. Gamerholic 6th. Evolution 7th. J. Cole, after that disastrous first lap, finishes 8th. Energetics has the reverse of J. Cole and finishes 9th. Tiggerby wraps up the points, and the race finishes with 10th place. Extremer in 11th. Chapalele in 12th. And Jeroen in 13th. And Extremer, Chapalele and Jeroen did not make it to the checkered flag.
So that is it then for this race here in America. Certainly has been a pleasure to commentate a very chaotic race, one where the strategy caught out a lot of drivers, really apart from those top 3 that were able to just get it right, particularly Sevi. As I said earlier, just getting it absolutely perfectly in terms of strategy, making the tires last. But yeah, I guess I'll sign off myself there. Great race there, a lot of action, a lot of chaos, and yeah, that's gonna round that one up.
Next week is Mexico for round 19, where the championship could be decided. So tune in next week at 8 PM.